father died. The 5th of May, your birthday, Irina. It was very cold and snowing. I hardly thought I could live through it. You had fainted away, but now, just a year later, we can look back at it quite calmly. You were wearing a white dress, radiant, and the clock struck then too. I remember when they carried Father out, a band was playing, and at the cemetery they fired a volley. He was a general. He commanded a brigade. But there were very few people there. It was raining, though. Heavy rain.
Why do you always do this?
Today it is warm. We can have the windows open and the birches are just in bud. Father got his brigade and left Moscow with us 11 years ago. And I can remember clearly that in Moscow, in the beginning of May, just at this time, it was warm, sunny, and everything was bursting into flower. 11 years have gone by and I can still remember it as if it had only happened yesterday. My goodness, I woke up this morning and the sun was blazing. I could feel that spring was here and I did so long to be home again.
You've gone out of your mind.
It's all nonsense, of course.
Masha, don't hum. How can you? It's bad luck. I'm sorry. School all day and private lessons all evening, so I get headaches all the time. I'm beginning to feel quite old. Shall I tell you something? Every day of the 4 years at the high school, minute by minute, I have felt my strength and my youth draining away. And only one dream kept growing stronger and stronger.
To go to Moscow, to sell the house, make an end of everything here in Moscow.
Yes, Moscow, as soon as possible.
Brother will be a professor most likely, so he won't be staying here. The one thing in the way is poor Masha.
Oh, Masha will spend the whole summer in Moscow every year.
It will all be arranged if God wills. What a lovely day. I don't know why I'm so happy. This morning when I remembered it was my birthday, I suddenly felt so happy. I remembered when I was little and Mama was still alive, and such strange thoughts. Such thoughts.
You look lovely today. You really look beautiful. Oh, and so does Masha. Andrey would be quite handsome if he hadn't gotten so plump. It's not very becoming. As for me, I've gotten older and a lot more tired. Perhaps it's because I get so cross with the girls at school. But today I am free. I'm at home. No headache. I feel younger than yesterday. I'm only 28. Everything's for the best. Everything comes from God. And yet I can't help but think it would be better still if I were married and stayed at home all day. I'd have loved my husband.
You talk nonsense. You are a bore. I forgot to say, Colonel Vershinin, our new battery commander, is coming to see you today.
Well, good. We'll be glad to see him. Is he old?
Well, not really. 40 or 45 at most. Seems to be a nice man. Certainly no fool. Talks a bit much.
But is he interesting?
Oh, yes, quite. Only there's a wife, a mother-in-law, and 2 girls. And this is his second marriage. Everywhere he goes, he keeps saying that he has a wife and 2 girls. He'll say the same here, you'll see. His wife isn't quite normal. Tries to commit suicide occasionally to annoy her husband. I'd have left her long ago. But he puts up with it. Not, however, without letting everyone know.
With one hand, I can lift 50 pounds, but with both hands, I can lift 150 or even 175 pounds. This leads me to the conclusion that 2 men are just twice as strong as 1, but 3 times and even more.
For falling hair, 2 ounces of naphthalene to have a bottle of alcohol dissolved and used daily. I must write this down. So you put a cork in the bottle, and into the cork you insert a glass tube. Then you take a pinch of alcohol.
Ah! God!
Doctor, darling doctor.
What is it, my own little sweetheart?
Tell me, why am I so happy today? As though I were at the sea with an endless blue sky and great white birds sailing above me. Why is this? Why?
My white dove.
When I woke this morning, got up and washed my face, everything in this world suddenly seemed clear to me. I know how one has to live. Doctor, darling, I know everything. One must work in the sweat of their brow, whomever they may be. And only in this is the meaning and the goal of their existence, their happiness, their fulfillment. How good to be a workman who gets up at daybreak, breaks stones in the street, or a shepherd, or a teacher who teaches children, or an engine driver. My goodness, not just human beings. It is better to be an ox, even an ordinary horse, so long as you work. Ever so much better than being a young lady who gets up at noon, has her coffee in bed, and spends 2 hours getting dressed. Oh, it's frightful. You know how you thirst for a drink on a hot day? Well, that is the way I long to work. If I won't get up early and go out to work, don't call me your friend.
I won't.
Father trained us to get up at 7. But now Irina wakes at 7 and lies in bed until 9 at least, thinking of goodness knows what, looking so serious. Stupid!
You think of me as a little girl, so you find it strange when I look so serious, but I am 20 today.
The longing for work. My God, how I understand that. I've never done a stroke of work in my life. I was born in Petersburg. Cold, idle Petersburg, into a family which knew neither work nor the need to work. When I came home from military school, I remember there was a footman to pull off my boots. I would behave like a spoiled brat, but my mother worshipped me and was astonished if other people didn't. I was sheltered from work of every kind, but it isn't possible to be completely sheltered. No, it's just not possible.
Idiot!
The time has come. Something enormous is coming toward us. A tremendous storm is getting ready to break. It's coming. It's already near. And soon the laziness, the callous unconcern, the prejudice against work, and all the rotten boredom will be swept away out of our society. I shall work. And in no more than 25 or 30 years, everyone will be working. Everyone.
I won't be working.
Oh, you don't count.
In 25 years, you won't be on this earth, thank God. In 2 years or 3, you will die of apoplexy or a stroke, or I may lose my temper and put a bullet into your skull.
As a matter of fact, I never did a single thing after university. I never lifted a finger, didn't even read a single book. We read nothing but newspapers. Look, I know from this newspaper that there was, let's say, a writer called W. But I haven't the faintest idea what he wrote. Oh, that's for me. I have a visitor. Coming! Wait a minute!
He's got something up his sleeve.
Know what? You can expect a present.
Oh, what a nuisance.
Yes, it's awful. He's always doing something silly.
By the curved shore, a green oak stands, a golden chain hangs on that tree, and on the chain a wise tomcat circles and circles endlessly.
You are not very cheerful today, Masha. Where are you going?
Home. How very strange.
Leaving a birthday party.
What of it? I'll be back this evening. Goodbye, my sweet. Once again, be cheerful. In the old days when Father was alive, when we had a birthday party, 30 or 40 officers would be here. Noisy, yes. But today, there's hardly a man in sight, and quiet as a tomb. Never mind. I'm just depressed today, that's all. We'll have a talk later. Goodbye, my dear. I'll go somewhere or other.
But why do you have
Somewhere.
Oh,
Anywhere.
I understand you, Masha.
If a man talks philosophy, it will be philosophistica, or some kind of sophistica. But if a woman talks philosophy, or God forbid, 2 women, then do you know what? Suck my thumb.
What do you mean, you horrible, terrible man?
Nothing. Before he was fully aware, he was crushed in the arms of a bear.
Shut up!
And here's sweetheart. Come in. Your boots are clean enough. From the city council, from Mikhail Ivanovich Prozorov, a chicken pie. Over there.
Thanks, thank him.
What's that?
Thank him.
Verify.
I'll take the pie, dear. Go help the doctor.
I don't care for this Protopopov. He shouldn't be invited.
I didn't invite him.
Good.
A semaphore!
What did I tell you?
My dear girl, I've known you since the day you were born. I have held you in my arms. I loved your mother.
It's delightful, really.
Children,
Please, you deserve this.
you don't know him.
This is barely a
Girls, be
argument.
nice.
My dear girl, you deserve this and more.
Oh, doctor, no, really.
Please.
It's
Accept
wonderful.
it. I'm
I
sorry.
do. Oh, I do, though.
Colonel Vershinin.
I am pleased to meet you after so long.
How do you do?
My goodness, how you've grown up.
Do sit down. We're delighted to see you.
Well, this is nice. It really is. But there were 3 sisters that I remember. Your faces I can't quite remember anymore. Just as your father, Colonel Prozorov, had 3 little girls. Saw them with my own eyes. Oh, but how time flies.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Time flies.
Colonel Vershinin comes from Moscow.
From Moscow? You're from Moscow?
Yes. Your father commanded a battery in
Olga!
Moscow when I was Now, your face, it seems to me, I do sort of remember.
I don't remember yours.
Olga! Olga, come! You'll never guess. Colonel Vershinin is from Moscow.
Why, you are Olga, the eldest. And you, Maria, and you, Irina, the youngest.
You are from Moscow?
Yes, I was a student in Moscow. I began my service there. I served there for many years, and now at last I have been given my own battery. Transferred here, as you see. Actually, I can't quite remember you. I have a perfectly clear remembrance of your father. If I close my eyes, I can still see him standing right there. Yes. I used to visit you in Moscow.
I thought I could remember everyone, but now suddenly...
You're from Moscow. How extraordinary.
We're going there, you know.
We expect to be there this autumn. It's our native city. We were born there in old Basmana Street.
What a surprise to see someone from our own city. Now I remember. Olga, do you remember? Back home, they used to call him the lovesick major. You were lieutenant then in love, and for some reason or other, everyone made fun of you by calling you the lovesick major.
The lovesick major, quite right.
But you're older now. How much older?
Yes, when you knew me, I was still young. I was in love, but it's different now.
You're not old. You're older, but still not old.
I'm in my 43rd year. Have you been away from Moscow long?
11 years.
But why are you crying, Masha? I shall cry too.
It's nothing. What street in Moscow are you from?
Old Basmana.
But so are we!
And before that, I lived on Nemetskaya. I used to walk to the barracks, and I would have to cross an old, sinister-looking bridge. Underneath, you could hear the water running. Makes your heart sink when you are lonely. But here, how wide the river is, how noble, a beautiful river.
Yes, but cold. It's cold here and mosquitoes.
Oh, really? It's so healthy here. A really fine Russian climate. Forests, rivers, and birch trees. Dear modest birches, they are my favorite trees. This is a good place to live. It's an odd thing, though, that the railway station is nearly 20 miles away, and nobody knows why.
I know why. It's because if the station were near, it wouldn't be so far away. But if it's far away, it means it isn't near.
Yes,
You know I remember you now. Yes, I do.
I knew your mother.
A wonderful woman. God rest her soul.
Mama is buried in Moscow.
In the Novodevichy Cemetery.
Just think, I'm beginning to forget what she looked like. People won't remember us either. They'll forget.
Yes, they'll forget. Such is life. What seems to us so serious, so important, so significant. The time will come where it will all seem unimportant and be forgotten. Interesting, isn't it? How we simply cannot know what will be thought of with reverence and respect. For isn't it true that in their own time, the discoveries of Copernicus, or Columbus, if you like, were viewed as superfluous and ridiculous, whereas the empty scribblings of some crank or other were viewed as the ultimate truth. And it may happen that our current life, with which we are quite content, may at some future date seem weird, uncomfortable, unenlightened, squalid, perhaps even wicked.
who knows? Perhaps they will remember our present time with reverence and respect. We don't have torture or executions anymore. Nobody invades our country, and yet, with all this, what a lot of misery there is.
Tucson. No food for our Baron, just stuff him with philosophy.
Please leave me alone, you are quite a bore. But in spite of all the misery we see around us, some moral improvement has taken place in our society.
Yes, quite.
Yes.
Baron, just now you said our time will be thought of as a great one. But people are small. I mean, look how small you are. Nobody would call you great except to flatter you.
That's Andrey playing, our brother.
He's our intellectual. He'll be a professor probably. Papa was a military man, but his son has chosen the life of a scholar.
It was father's wish.
We were teasing him today. He's a little in love, we think. One of the locals. She'll show up today more likely than not.
My dear, her clothes, not just ugly or out of date, they're just pathetic. Some outrageous yellow skirt with all sorts of cheap fringe on it and red blouse and her cheeks scrubbed till they bleed. Andrey can't be in love. I won't allow it. After all, he has some taste. He's just teasing us, making fools of us. Besides, I heard that she's going to marry Prozorov, that chairman of city council. Good thing, too. Andrey, come in here for a moment.
Our brother, Andrey Sergeyevich.
Vershinin.
Prozorov, you're the new battery commander?
Imagine, the colonel is from Moscow.
Really? Congratulations, you'll get no peace from my sisters now.
Oh, your sisters will have had quite enough of me already.
Look at this frame Andrey gave me today for my birthday. He made it himself.
Really? It's... yes.
And that one too, by the piano. He made that one too.
He's so smart and he plays the violin. He's good at everything, really. Oh, Andrey, don't go away. That's how he always is, trying to slip away. Come here.
Come on.
Do leave me alone.
Oh, the colonel used to be called the lovesick major, and he didn't mind a bit.
No, not a bit.
Guess what? You're the lovesick fiddler.
Or Professor Lovesick.
He's in love. Andrey's in love.
Man, that's made for love!
Please, that's enough! I didn't sleep a wink all night. Now I'm not myself, as they say. I read till 4 and then I went to bed, but it was no good. I thought of this and that. And all of a sudden it was dawn and the sun was banging into my bedroom. This summer, while I'm here, I want to translate a book from the English.
You read English?
Yes, my father, God bless him, had us educated within an inch of our lives. It's ridiculous and absurd, I admit, but you know that after his death I began to put on weight. And now, a year later, I'm quite heavy. It's as if my body had been released from the pressure he imposed. Thanks to Father, my sisters and I know French, German, and English. And Irina knows Italian as well. At what a cost.
In this town, to know 3 languages is a sort of unnecessary luxury. Not even a luxury, it's more like an unnecessary appendage, like a 6th finger.
How can you say that? It seems to me that there isn't and there can't be such a dull and deadly town so as not to have use for an intelligent and educated person. This town has a population of 100,000, and it certainly is a coarse and primitive town. Now, out of that 100,000, let's say there are only 3 people like you. Well, it's perfectly obvious you won't be able to overcome the mass of surrounding darkness. Little by little, you'll have to give ground and be silenced in the mob. Life will silence you, but still, you won't disappear. Your influence will still be felt. People of your sort will come after you. 6, perhaps, and 12, and so on, until finally, people of your sort will become the majority. In 200 or 300 years, life on Earth, unimaginably beautiful. Mankind must have such a life. And if it is still not here, Mankind must have faith in its coming, must wait for it, prepare for it, dream of it. And for this reason, he must know and feel more than his grandfather and father have known and felt before him. And here you are saying that you know too much.
I think I'll stay to lunch.
All of that should be written down, actually.
You say that after many years, life on Earth will be beautiful, wonderful. It's true. But to have a share in it, even in a small way, one must start preparing for it now. One must work.
Yes, what a lot of charming flowers you all have. It's all quite charming. I'm envious. All my life I've been traveling about in places with a single couch, a chair or two, and a stove which smokes. What's been missing from my life were flowers like these. Oh well, what of it?
Yes, one must work. I know what you're thinking. The German's getting sentimental, but I'm Russian, word of honor. I don't even speak German. My father was Greek Orthodox.
I often think, suppose we could begin life all over again, but consciously. If the life we were living now were the rough draft, the second would be the finished drawing. Now, if that were the case, I think each man would try first not to repeat himself, and would at least try to create a different environment for himself, a place like this, full of flowers and sunshine. I have a wife, 2 girls. My wife is not in the best of health either, and so on and so on. But if I were to begin again, I wouldn't get married. No, no.
My dear sister-in-law, allow me to congratulate you on your birthday and to wish you sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, everything which one can wish for a young girl of your age. Next, let me present you with this book. It is the entire history of our high school for the last 50 years, written by yours truly. Not an important book, mind you, just something I wrote in my leisure hours. All the same, you should read it. Doctor, a baron, a good afternoon to you, sir. My name is Khalid, teacher at the local high school, member of the Educational Advisory Board. In this book, you will find the name of every single graduate from the high school during the whole of those 50 years. Feci quam patui faciunt meliora potentis.
You gave me a copy of this at Easter.
Not possible. Very well, then give it back. Oh, wait, yes. Give it to the Colonel. You'll read it one day, if only out of boredom.
Thank you. Well, I'm very glad to have met you all.
Oh, are you leaving so soon? Oh, no.
Do stay to lunch, please.
Yes.
Forgive me. I seem to have chanced upon a birthday. I didn't know. I didn't congratulate you.
You must simply stay for lunch.
Today is Sunday, gentlemen, the day of rest. So let's rest. Let's be jolly, each according to his age and station. Rugs ought to be taken up for the summer and stored until winter. Persian powder or naphthalene. The Romans were healthy because they knew how to work and they also knew how to play. They had a mens sana and compore sano. Their life flowed in a positive direction. Our headmaster says, the most important thing in any life, he says, is its direction. If anything loses its direction, that's the end. And in our ordinary day-to-day life, the same thing holds true. Masha loves me, my wife loves me, and the curtains too with the rugs. Oh, I feel so cheerful today, in the best of spirits. Oh, Masha, 4 o'clock at the headmaster's, a picnic for the teachers and their families.
I won't go.
You won't go.
Later. Oh, all right, I'll go. Only do leave me alone.
After that, we shall spend the entire evening at the headmaster's. Although he's not in the best of health, that man makes a particular point of being sociable. Yesterday, you know what he said to me? Khalid, he said, I'm tired. Tired. Your clock is 7 minutes fast. Yes, he said, tired.
Gentlemen, do come to lunch. Andrey!
Ah, my dear Olga, my dear girl. Oh, allow me. Yesterday, I was at work from the early morning till 11 at night. I was tired, but today, I feel happy. My dear.
Chicken pie, delicious.
Now don't drink today, doctor. Do you hear? It's not good for you.
That's a thing of the past. I've been off it for 2 years. All the same.
Very likely. But don't you dare drink. Don't dare. Again, damn it. Another ghastly, boring evening at the headmaster's.
If I were you, I wouldn't go. Quite simple.
No, don't go, my dear.
Yes, don't go. What a damnable, intolerable life.
Stop it. That's enough.
Your help, Colonel. I'm a pedagogue and I'm one of the family here. Masha's husband. She's a dear, good girl.
Your help. Some of this dark vodka. It's so nice here.
Masha is rather depressed today. She married when she was 18, when he seemed to her to be the most brilliant of men.
Andrey!
But not any longer. He is the kindest, but not the most brilliant.
Andrey, for the last time, will you come to lunch?
Coming!
What are you thinking about?
Nothing. I don't like that Solioni of yours. I'm afraid of him. He talks nothing but nonsense.
He's a strange fellow. I'm sorry for him and irritated by him, but mostly sorry for him. I suppose he's shy. When we're alone, he's sometimes quite clever and nice, but when people are there, he's coarse, a bully. Don't go. Let the others get settled. Stay with me. What are you thinking about? You are 20. I am not yet 30. How many years are there ahead of us? A long, long procession of days full of my love for you.
Baron, don't talk of love.
I have a passionate thirst for life, for struggle, for work. And this thirst and my love for you grow together in my heart, Irina. And somehow in the same way, because you are so wonderful, life seems to me to be wonderful. What are you thinking about?
You say life is wonderful, yes, but what if it only seems so? For us three sisters, life hasn't been very wonderful yet. We've been choked, like plants choked by weeds. I'm crying. So stupid. One must work. Work. The reason we are not more cheerful, that we look on the dark side of things, is that we've never known what it is to work. We came of people who despise work. Oh, they're sitting down to lunch already. I'm late. I think my hair looks all right. My dear, congratulations on your birthday. You have such a lot of guests. I feel quite self-conscious. How are you, Baron?
Oh, why, here's Natasha. How are you, my dear? Mwah!
Congratulations on the birthday. You have such a large party. I feel terribly shy.
How absurd. There's no one here but ourselves. Why, my dear, you're wearing a green sash. It won't do.
Is green unlucky?
Oh, no. It's just that it doesn't match. It looks odd.
Really? Well, this isn't green really. It's sort of a no color.
Irina, here is time. It's time you got married.
We must point one to you two, Natalia.
Natalia already has a bow to her string.
A toast, a little wine. Here's to our empty life. To hell with it.
Behave yourself. A bad mark for a hunt.
What nice vodka. What is it made with?
Cockroaches.
How revolting.
Tonight, we are going to have roast turkey for dinner and apple cakes for dessert. Thank God I have the night off and tomorrow as well. Oh, gentlemen, do come tonight.
May I come too?
But of course, they are so informal here.
Ooh, man is made for love alone.
Shut up! Enough is enough. They're at table already.
At the table? At lunch? Yes, they are.
Hold it. All right.
Congratulations! Everything you wish for yourself. What charming weather! Just sublime. I've been walking all morning with a group of students. I'm giving gymnastics lessons in the high school.
A group, please. All right. Miss Irina, you look charming today. By the way, I brought you this.
Oh, a humming top. How sweet.
that. Those words have been haunting me all day.
We're 13 at table.
Gentlemen, don't tell me you're really superstitious.
If we're 13 at table, it means we have lovebirds in our midst. Not you, Doctor, by any chance.
I am an old sinner. But why is Natalia so embarrassed? Tell me that.
I'm so embarrassed. I don't know what's the matter with me. They are making a fool of me. I know it was rude to leave the table, but... Oh, I can't.
Please don't. My dear, please, don't be upset. I assure you it's only in fun. They don't mean to be unkind. My dear, they are dear, good-hearted people. They love me and you. Dude, come over here.
Yes. That's right.
They can't see us here.
I'm not used to big parties.
How are you? My darling, adorable girl, please, don't be upset. Believe me, I feel ecstatically happy. They aren't... Why do I love you? When did I fall in love with you? I don't understand a single thing. My darling, my sweet innocent, be my wife. I love you. I've never loved anyone before. Got it!
It's nothing, well, if there's no light, then how can you be reading?
What is it, Natasha?
I'm making sure nobody's left a candle burning. It's carnival time. The servants are completely out of hand. And one must keep an eye on everything the entire time. Every night I come into the dining room and there's still a light burning. I haven't been able to figure out who leaves it there. What time is it?
8:16.
Olga and Irina not home yet, not back yet. They work so hard, poor girls. There's Olga in the teacher's council, Irina in the telegraph office. This morning I said to your sister, "You look after yourself, Irina, darling." She doesn't pay attention. 8:15? I'm afraid our Bobik is really ill. Why is he so cold? Yesterday he was feverish, and today he's cold all over. Oh, I'm so worried.
It's nothing, Natasha. He's quite a strong little boy.
All the same, he better be on a diet. I'm worried. And tonight at 10 o'clock, they say the maskers will be coming here. Although, you know, Andrey dear, I think it would be better if they didn't.
Would it? I don't know. They've been invited.
Bobik wakes this morning, looks at me, breaks into a smile. You know what that means. He knew me. "Bobik," I say, I see you, sweetie." And he laughs. Children know, they know perfectly well. Very well, Andrey. I shall say the maskers are not to come in.
Yes, but isn't that for my sisters to say? I mean, it is their house.
Well, I'll tell them, of course. They're dears. I've ordered buttermilk for your supper. The doctors say you are to have nothing but buttermilk, otherwise you'll never get that weight down. Bobik is so cold. I'm afraid that room of his is cold. He should be in another room, at least until the warm weather comes. Now, Irina's room is just perfect for a child. Dry, and the sun pours in all day long. I'll tell her. In the meantime, she can move in with Olga. She's never home in the day anyway, only sleeps. Andrey, my sweetie, why don't you say something?
No reason. There's just nothing to be said.
Oh, I had something I wanted to tell you. Oh, yes, that Ferapont is here from the council. He's asking for you.
Ask him to come in.
Very well.
Good evening, my dear fellow. What is it?
The chairman has sent you this book and papers of some kind. Here.
Good, thanks. Why didn't you come earlier? It's getting on to 9.
What?
I said you're late. It's getting on to 9.
Very good, sir. When I arrived here, it was still light out, but she wouldn't let me in. The master is busy, she said. Very well, I said. Busy is busy, and I'm not in a hurry. What?
Nothing. Tomorrow is a holiday. Not going to be open. I'll go there all the same. I'll keep busy. It's boring here at home. Dear old fellow, isn't it strange how life lets you down? Today, just out of boredom, just because I had nothing better to do, I picked up a book. Well, lecture notes from my university days. It's ridiculous. My God. I'm secretary now to the city council, of which Prozorov is chairman, and the most I can hope for is to become a member. I, a member of city council, I who dream every day that I'm a great professor at the University of Moscow, a great scholar, a scholar of whom Russia is proud.
How should I know? I don't hear well.
If I could hear well, I don't suppose I'd be talking to you. I just need to talk to someone. My wife doesn't understand. For some reason, I'm afraid of my sisters. I'm afraid they'll laugh at me, make me feel a fool. I don't like drinking. I don't much like drinking places, but I wish I were in Moscow right now in one of the good restaurants.
Oh, in Moscow? So a contractor was saying yesterday in our office that some merchants were eating blintzes. One of them ate 40 and died. 40 or 50, I can't remember which.
We're in Moscow, in one of the good restaurants, and you don't know anybody. Nobody knows you, and yet, for all of that, you don't feel that you're a stranger. Here you know everybody. Everybody knows you, and yet you are a stranger. A stranger and lonely.
He also said, he could be lying for all I know, that they put a rope right across Moscow.
Whatever for?
How should I know? The contractor said.
Ridiculous. Were you ever in Moscow?
No, I wasn't. God didn't grant me that. Shall I go?
Yes. Run along. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Come back tomorrow morning for these papers. Good night. Oh. He's gone. Oh well.
Question of habit. After Father died, for instance, it took us a long time to get used to not having orderlies around. But habit aside, I think it's quite right what I was saying. It may be different in other places, but in this town, the nicest, best bred, best educated people are in the military.
I'm thirsty. May I have some tea?
They'll bring it soon. They married me off when I was 18. I was afraid of my husband because he was a teacher and I'd only just finished school. At the time, he seemed to me the most immensely learned, intelligent, important. Now it's not the same, unfortunately.
Oh, well, yes.
Of course, I'm not talking about my husband. I'm used to him. But civilians as a whole are such a vulgar lot. Unpleasant, uneducated. Vulgarity offends me. It distresses me. I can't bear to see a person who lacks refinement, good manners, good breeding. When I find myself in a group of teachers, I simply can't bear it.
But really, you know. Civilian or military, they're all equally uninteresting. At least in this place. If you talk to an intelligent person, be civilian or in the army, he's always sick to death of his wife, sick to death of his house, sick to death of his place in the country, sick to death of his horses. Russians are capable of such elevated thoughts. Why is it then that we have such low ideals in practical life? Why is that?
Why?
Why is he always sick to death of his wife and sick to death of his children?
You're not in a good mood today.
Perhaps not. I haven't eaten dinner today. Haven't had a bite since breakfast. One of my daughters is not very well, and whenever my daughters are sick, I feel so nervous and anxious that they have a mother like her. Oh, you should have seen her today. What a nothing she is. We began to quarrel at 7 in the morning, and at 9 I left, and I slammed the door behind me. It's odd. You're the only person I tell about this. Don't be cross with me. Except for you, I have nobody. Nobody.
Listen to the wind. When Father was dying, there was a sort of moaning in the chimney, just like now.
Are you superstitious?
Yes.
How strange. You're a magnificent, wonderful woman. It's dark here, but I can see the glitter in your eyes.
There's more light over here.
I love Your eyes, the way you move, I dream about you, magnificent, wonderful woman.
When you speak to me like this, I can't help laughing. Although it makes me afraid. Don't speak like that again, please. And yet do. I don't mind. I don't mind. Someone's coming. Hide.
I've got a triple-barreled name. My name is Baron Tussenbach Krone Alchauser. But I'm Russian. I'm as Russian as you are. There's hardly anything German left in me. Maybe only the patience and persistence with which I pursue you. Every evening I see you home.
Oh, I'm so tired.
Each and every day, I shall come to the telegraph office and bring you home. I'll do it for 10, 20 years. Oh, until you chase me away. Oh. It's you.
Here I am, home at last. Just now a lady came to send a telegram to her brother in Saratov to say her son died today, but she couldn't remember the address. Simply to Saratov. She was crying, and without any reason, I was rude to her. I've no time, I said. So stupid. Are the maskers coming tonight?
Yes.
For relief, I'm tired.
When you get back from work, you seem so young. Sort of small.
I'm tired. No, I don't like that telegraph office. I really don't.
You look thin, younger, more like a young boy.
That's just the way she has her hair.
I think I must look for another job. This one isn't right for me. What I wanted, what I dreamed of, well, that's exactly what this job doesn't have. Work without poetry, without imagination. That's the doctor. Knock back, dear. I can't. Too tired. He'll come right up now. We shall have to decide what to do.
About what?
The doctor and Andrey were at the club yesterday and lost again. They say Andrey lost 200 rubles.
Oh, well, what can we do about it?
2 weeks ago he lost. And in December, too. I only wish he'd lose everything as quickly as possible. Then maybe we could get away from this place. I dream of Moscow every single night. I'm simply obsessed. We're going to move there in June, but before June comes round, we have to get through February, March, April, May. Almost half a year.
Let's hope Natasha doesn't find out somehow about his losses.
I think she couldn't care less.
Well, there he is. Has he paid his rent?
No, not a penny in the last 8 months. Forgot, probably.
And look at him sitting there as if he owns the place.
Haven't you anything to say, Colonel?
I don't know, I'm dying for some tea. I'd give anything in the world for a glass of tea. Haven't had a bite since breakfast.
Irina,
What is it?
come here. An AC. Can't do without you.
Oh well, if we can't have tea, let's at least have a little philosophizing.
Yes, let's do. But what's the subject?
Let's imagine, for instance, what life will be like in 200 or 300 years.
Well, after us, people will fly in balloons, will change the cut of their coats. Maybe they'll discover a sixth sense and develop it. But for all that, life will still be exactly the same. Difficult, full of mystery, and happy. And in 1,000 years, people will still be sighing in the same old way. Oh, how hard life is. And they'll still be afraid of death, just as they are now.
How can I put it? It seems to me that everything on earth will change little by little and is in fact changing right before our eyes. In 200, 300 years, or even 1,000, the time is unimportant. A new, happy life will come into being. We won't take part in it, of course, but we are living for it now. We are suffering for it. We are creating it. Therein lies the aim of our existence and, if you must, our happiness.
What?
I don't know. I've been laughing all day.
I was educated in the same way as you. I didn't go to military school. I read a great deal, but I don't read the books that I ought to. But even so, the longer I live, the more my thirst for knowledge increases. I found a gray hair yesterday. I'm an old man almost, and I know so little, so very little. And yet, I have the feeling that I know what is most important and most real, know it very well. Oh, I do wish I could prove to you that there's no such thing as happiness, that there ought to be no such thing, and won't be for us. We must simply work and work. Happiness will only be achieved by those who come long after us. If I am not to enjoy it, then at least my children's children will.
You mean that we are not even to dream of happiness? But supposing I am happy?
You're not.
Obviously, we don't understand each other at all. How can I convince you? Laugh away. Life doesn't change. And not just in 200 or 300 years, but in 1,000,000, life will be exactly the same. It doesn't change. It remains static, following laws of its own. You know how some kinds of birds migrate every year? Like cranes, for instance. They fly on, and no matter what, thoughts, great and small, drift through their minds. And on they will go, no matter what bird philosophers appear in their midst. They can philosophize to their heart's content, so long as they keep flying the appointed course.
But does that make sense?
Sense? It's snowing out there. Does that make sense?
I think a person must have some kind of faith. Must seek faith anyways. Otherwise, life is empty. Empty to live and not know why birds fly, why babies are born, why there are stars in the heavens. We must have faith that there's a purpose to life where everything else is just meaningless.
All the same, it's sad when youth is over.
Gogol said, life on earth, gentlemen, is a bore.
And I say arguing with you, gentlemen, is pointless. Well, it doesn't matter.
Balzac was married in Berniccia. I must write this down. Balzac was married in Berniccia.
Balzac was married in Berniccia.
Well, the die is cast. You know I've sent in my resignation.
I heard. I think it's a very poor idea. I don't like civilians.
Oh. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not good looking. What kind of a soldier do I make? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to work. For one day of my life anyway, I shall work so hard that I come home utterly tired out, tumble into bed, and fall asleep immediately. Workmen sleep soundly, I imagine.
I brought you these crayons and a penknife.
You think of me as a little girl, but I'm grown up, you know. Aren't they sweet?
I brought these for myself. Look, just look. One blade, another blade, another. This is to pick your ears. These are the scissors. And this is to clean your nails.
Doctor, how old are you?
Me? 32.
Let me show you another game.
Just listen to that wind.
Yes, I'm sick of winter. I've forgotten what summer is like.
Oh, look, it's going to come out. That means we will get to Moscow.
No, it's not going to come. Look, the 8 is on the 2 of spades, so you won't go to Moscow.
Seat car. There's an outbreak of smallpox there.
Masha, dear, tea. Please come to tea, sir. Forgive me, I can't remember your name.
Bring it here, Nana. I'm not going over there.
Nana.
Coming.
Babies understand everything. I see you, Volvic. I see you, sweetie. He looks at me in the most extraordinary way. You think I'm saying this just because I am his mother, but no, really. He's simply a perfectly extraordinary child.
If he were mine, do you know what? I'd fry him in a pan and eat him.
Oh! What a horrible man!
Happy people don't notice whether it's summer or winter.
But really, you know, even if you were in Moscow, I doubt you'd even realize it. It's all the same. Happiness we do not possess. Happiness doesn't exist. It's only something we long for.
What's happened to the chocolate ones?
So Leonie's gobbled them up.
All of them?
A note for you.
For me. For my daughter. Yes, of course. No tea, thank you. I'll slip out this way.
What is it?
It's the same old story. My wife has taken poison again. I must go. All this is horribly unpleasant. I'll slip out this way.
Where is he off to? I've just brought his tea. What's the matter with him?
Oh, do be quiet. I'm sick of you. You're an old pest. You go on and on and on.
Vashinka, what are you so cross?
And Lisa, you just sit in that room. Make some room for me. Cards all over the place. Drink your tea.
Masha, don't be so horrid.
If I'm horrid, don't look at me. Don't touch me.
Don't touch her. Don't touch
You're
her.
sick. And you still lather away the most damned, idiotic rubbish like a snotty little schoolboy.
Masha! Dear, why do you talk like that? With your looks, I'll admit, you could get into the very best of society, if only you would use that sort of language. Je vous prie, pardonnez-moi, Marie, mais les manières est un peu grossier.
May I? Oh, good eye. I believe there's some cognac.
Oh, hark a moment, ne bouge pas. He is awake. He's not a bit well today. Please, do excuse me.
Where's the colonel gone?
Home. Something peculiar again with his wife.
Sitting, brooding here all by yourself. And goodness knows what about. Let's make peace, shall we? Have some cognac.
How do you mean make peace? I have no quarrel with you.
Well, you always give me a sort of feeling of unpleasantness between us. And you must admit, there's something strange about you.
Well, I am strange. Who is not strange? Patience, forgive me, good Aleko.
What's Aleko got to do with it?
When I'm alone with somebody, I'm perfectly all right, just like anyone else. But in company, I get gloomy, uncomfortable, and I talk all kinds of nonsense. But even so, I am more decent and honest than lots of other people, and I can prove it.
You're simply maddening, forever picking on me in front of others. But somehow I still like you. Oh, what the hell, I'm going to get drunk tonight. Here, have some more.
Very well. I've no quarrel with you, Baron. I never had. But I'm like Lermontov. People tell me I even look a bit like Lermontov.
I'm resigning my commission. I've been thinking it over for 5 years, and at last I've finally decided. I'm going to work.
Forgive me, Aleko. Forget your dreams.
Yes, I'm going to work.
And the food was real Caucasian. Onion soup. And for the meat course, jaharma.
But cheremsha isn't a meat. It's a vegetable. It's a sort of onion.
Oh no, my angel. Jaharma is an onion. It's roast lamb.
I'm telling you, cheremsha is an onion.
And I'm telling you, jaharma is lamb.
And I'm telling you, cheremsha is an onion!
What's the good of arguing with him? He's never been in the Caucasus and he's never eaten jaharma!
I've never eaten it because I simply can't stand it! Cheremsha smells like garlic.
Ah!
Gentlemen, please.
What time are the maskers coming?
They promised to be here at 9, any minute now.
Damn it all. I'll go to Moscow with you, Andreyosha, to the university.
To which university? There are 2 universities in Moscow.
No, there is only one university in Moscow.
There are 2 universities in Moscow.
All right, there are 3. Better still.
In Moscow, there are 2 universities! In Moscow, there are 2 universities. The old one and the new one. And if you don't care to listen to me, if what I'm saying annoys you, I'll shut up. You can even go into another room.
Bravo! Bravo! Oh, come on. Let's get started. started. I'm going to play. Soleone is a perfect fool.
Once upon a time there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two. Remember how we laughed away the hours and dreamed of all the great things we would do.
We took the long way home. It was the wrong way home. We sing and dance while we walked along.
We lived a life we choose, we
Fight and never lose, for we were young and always had our way.
Let me finish.
What is it?
It's time we were off. Good night.
Time we're off. Good night.
Oh, but what about the masters?
The masters aren't coming, my dear. You see, Natasha says Bobik isn't very well.
Bobik isn't very well.
I see we're being thrown out, so we'd better go. Bobik isn't the one who's ill, it's she here. Common little slut.
What a shame. I'm still looking forward to the evening, but naturally if the boy isn't well, bring him some toys tomorrow.
I went to bed this afternoon because I was sure we'd be dancing all night. It's only 9.
Come on, let's go out in the street. We'll think of something to do.
I never had time to get married. Life passed in a flash. And of course, I was madly in love with your mother, and well, she was married already.
You should never marry. It's so tiresome.
That may be true, but the loneliness. Think about it any way you like, my boy. It's a terrible thing to be lonely. But in the end, well, it's all the same.
Come on, hurry up.
What's the rush? There's nothing but time.
I'm afraid my wife might stop us.
Ah.
We shan't play tonight. We'll just look on. I don't feel very well. Doctor, what am I to do about this breathlessness?
Why ask me? I haven't the faintest idea. I don't remember, my boy.
Shh, we'll slip out this way.
That was the bell. Who can it be?
The maskers.
Well, I tell them there isn't anybody at home. They'll have to excuse us.
Where's everybody gone?
They've all gone home.
How funny. You're all by yourself.
Yes, all by myself. Good night.
I was a nuisance just now. I lost my temper. Oh, but you're not like the others. You're innocent. You're better than all of them. You see the truth. You're the only one who can understand me. Oh, I love you deeply, infinitely.
Good night. Please go.
I can't live without you. You could be my salvation. Oh, such joy. Those wonderful, unbelievably beautiful eyes. I've never seen a woman with such eyes.
That's enough.
This is the first time I have spoken to you of love, and I feel as if I wasn't on the earth at all, but on another planet. But there, one thing is certain. You can't make another person love you. But I will not have successful rivals. I absolutely will not. If I have a rival, I swear by everything which I hold sacred that I will kill him. Wonderful woman.
Andrey's in there. Let him read. Do excuse me, Captain Solioni. I didn't know you were here. And just look at me.
It's all the same to me.
You are tired, my poor sweet. You ought to go to bed earlier. Is Phobic asleep? He's asleep, but he's restless. That reminds me, my dear. I had something I meant to ask you, but either you weren't here or else I am busy. I can't help thinking that Bobik's nursery is a little bit chilly and damp, but your room is just perfect for a child. My own dearest love, would you move in with Olga? Where? You and Olga would share for a time and Bobik would have your room. He's such a love. Today he looked at me with his darling little eyes. Oh. That's probably Olga. How late she is. Protopopov? What a funny little man. Protopopov has come and wants me to go for a drive with him in his troika. Aren't men funny? Someone else. Perhaps I should go for a little drive. Quarter of an hour. Say I'll be out in a minute. Now, who could that be? Olga, probably.
Hello, masters!
They said they were going to have a party.
That's strange. I only left half an hour ago and they were expecting the masters.
They've all gone.
Masha, too? Well, where is she? And why is Protopopov waiting down there in his troika? Who's he waiting for?
Don't ask me, I'm tired.
Naughty, naughty.
The meeting's only just finished. I'm utterly worn out. My head.
Andrey lost 200 rubles at cards. It's all over town.
Yes, that meeting has tired me out too.
My wife decided to scare me, so she all but poisoned herself. It's all right now. I'm glad to say I can relax. So where to go? Oh, well, in that case, I simply must take my leave. Let's go out somewhere, Kollegin. I simply cannot stay at home. Simply cannot. Let's go.
Really? No, I'm tired. I don't think I'll go. Tired. Did my wife?
I expect so.
Good night. Tomorrow and the day after free. I shall have a good rest. Good night. I'd love some tea. I planned on spending the evening in pleasant company, you know. Volacem hominem spem. Exclamatory accusative.
All right, you need a drink.
Oh.
Oh, my head. Andrey lost. The whole town's talking. I think I'll go lie down. Tomorrow I'm free. What a pleasant thought. Tomorrow free, and the day after free. Oh, I have such a headache. Oh, my head.
They're all gone. Nobody left.
Oh. I shall be back in half an hour. I shall just go for a little drive.
Moscow. Moscow. Moscow.
They were out in the streets in their nightgowns. Now they are sitting down at the bottom of the stairs. I said, please come upstairs, don't sit there. They are crying. Where is Daddy, they say. Please God, he's got burned to death. It's such an idea. There are others out in the courtyard. They're half dressed too.
Take this gray one, and this one. Oh, and this skirt, Nana dearest. Oh my God, what a disaster. The whole little street at the back end is burned down apparently. And this, take this too. The poor Vershinans have had a shock. Their house was very nearly burned down. We can't let them go home. They should spend the night here. At poor Podotik's place, everything was absolutely burned out. Not a thing left.
Call Farapont, Olga dear. I can't manage alone.
Farapont! It's no use ringing. Come here, whoever's out there. Up here. How horrible. It's exhausting. Here, take all this stuff downstairs. The Kolatilan girls are sitting at the foot of the stairs. Give it to them. Oh, and this. Give this too.
Very good. In 1812, Moscow was on fire, too. The French were quite surprised.
Go, go! Nana, dearest, give everything away. Give everything away, Nana. We don't need a thing. I'm so tired. I can hardly keep on my feet. But we can't let the Vershinans go home. The girls can stay in the drawing room, and the colonel can go down below with the baron. Fedotik can sleep in the baron's room or go into the dining room. The doctor is drunk, terribly drunk, so one can't put anyone with him. Oh, and Vershinan's wife. She can go in the drawing room too.
Olga, darling, don't throw me out, please.
Oh, why, what nonsense. No one would think to throw you out.
My dear, my dear. My jewel, I work hard. I do. But I'm getting feeble, and everyone will tell me go. But where am I to go? Where? I'm only 80.
Oh, sit down, Nana, dearest. You are tired, poor thing.
No, 81.
Rest, darling. You look pale.
They say we should organize a committee to help the victims of the fire. Why not? It's a good idea. One should do all they can to help the poor. It is the duty of the wealthy. Olga and baby Sophia are sleeping as if nothing had happened. There are so many people here, all over the place. The house is full of dirty, sooty, smelly people. And there's a flu epidemic in town. I'm afraid the children will catch it.
You can't see the fire from this room. It's quiet here.
Yes, that must be a sight. They say I put on weight, but it's not true. Not true at all. Masha's asleep, tired out. How dare you sit in my presence? Get up this minute! Get up, go on!
Olga, please.
Go on!
Olga, please.
Why you keep that old creature around, I cannot understand.
I don't know.
Who needs her? She is a peasant. She ought to go back to the country. You people spoil her. I like order in a house. One shouldn't have useless servants running around the place. You are tired, my poor sweet. Our headmistress is tired. Why, when baby Sophia is a big girl and goes to high school, I shall be frightened of you.
I shan't be headmistress.
Oh yes, you'll be appointed, Olga. It's all settled.
Well, I shall refuse. I'm just not up to it. You were so rude to Nana just now. I'm sorry, but I simply couldn't bear it. It made me quite faint.
Forgive me, please forgive me. I didn't mean to upset you.
dear, you must understand. Perhaps we were brought up strangely, but I find that sort of behavior quite intolerable. It made me ill. It depresses me terribly.
Forgive me.
Even just the least rudeness, just a harsh word upsets me.
Sometimes my tongue does run away from me, it's true. But you must admit, my dear, that she ought to go back to the country.
She's been with us for 30 years.
Yes, but now she can't work. Either I can't understand you, or you won't understand me. Who needs her? She simply isn't fit for work. All she does is sleep or sit around the place.
Well, let her.
Let her? She is a servant. I can't understand you, Olga, dear. I have a nana and a wet nurse, a housemaid and a cook. What do we need this old woman for? Tell me.
Tonight has aged me 10 years.
We must come to an understanding, Olga, dear. You, the high school, me, the house. The teaching is yours. The house is mine. If I say something about the servants, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I want that thieving old witch out of this house by tomorrow. Old hag! Don't you dare contradict me. Don't you dare!
Really?
If you don't move downstairs, we shall be arguing this entire time. It's awful. Ugh.
Where's Masha? It's time we were going home. They say the fire is dying down.
Only one little street was burned down, but there was a wind, and at one time it looks as if the whole town might go up.
I'm tired. Olga, my dear, I often think that if I hadn't married Masha, it would have been you. You're so good. I'm exhausted.
What?
The doctor has been drinking, and he's frightfully drunk. It's as if he had done it on purpose. Listen, he's coming. Do you hear? Oh, no. He's such a, I shall hide. Such a rascal.
He hasn't drank for 2 years, and now, all of a sudden...
Damn them all! Damn them! They think I'm a doctor that I know to cure this and that disease. But I know nothing. I've forgotten everything I ever knew. I can't remember a single thing. Not a single thing. Damn them. Last Wednesday, I was attending a woman. She died, and it was my fault that she died. Yes, I knew something 25 years ago, but now I can't remember a single thing. Not a single thing. Maybe I'm not really a human being. Maybe I'm only pretending to have arms and legs and a head. Maybe I don't exist at all. Maybe it only seems to me that I walk around, that I eat, that I sleep. If I didn't exist. Damn! We were talking at the club the other day. They talked about Shakespeare, Voltaire. I've never read them, not a single line of them. And yet, I put on this expression of knowing everything about them. And the others, they did exactly the same thing. Such vulgarity, such cheap vulgarity. That woman I lost on Wednesday, all that came back into my mind. It all came back into my mind, but all muddled up, beastly, horrible. So I got drunk.
Let's come in here and sit. Nobody will come here.
If it weren't for the soldiers, the whole town would have gone up. Splendid fellows. Salt of the earth. Splendid fellows.
Ooh, what time is it?
It's 4 o'clock. Just beginning to get light.
Thank you.
Everyone's sitting
in the hall. Nobody's going home, and that Solioni of yours is in there, too. As for you, Doctor, you ought to be in bed.
I'm quite all right, thank you.
You're drunk as a skunk.
Ah, good old boy.
In vino veritas.
As the Romans said.
They've asked me to get up a concert in aid of the fire victims.
But who would...
We could arrange something if we wanted to. Masha plays the piano splendidly.
Splendidly.
Oh, she's completely out of practice. She hasn't touched the piano in 3 years. Or is it 4?
In this town, there is absolutely no one that understands music. Not a single soul. Except me. I give you my word of honor that Masha plays magnificently. Almost with genius.
You're right, Baron. I love Masha very much. She's a dear.
Imagine being able to play the piano so superbly and knowing that nobody can appreciate it.
Yes, but would it be the thing for her to take part in the concert? I don't really know.
I got in a perfect mess in the fire. I look like nothing on earth. I heard a rumor yesterday that they're proposing to transfer our brigade to the ends of the earth. Poland, one man said. Another Siberia.
I heard it too. This town will be deserted.
We'll be going too.
Smash to bits.
To smash such a valuable piece. Oh, Doctor. 0 for conduct.
It was Mama's little clock.
Maybe it was. If it was, it was. Maybe I didn't break it. It only seems that I broke it. Maybe we only seem to exist, but in reality, we don't exist at all. I don't know anything. Nobody knows anything. Where are your eyes? Natasha is carrying on with Protopopov and you don't see it. You sit there and you see nothing, but Natasha is carrying on with Protopopov. Have a banana.
Well, well. How weird everything is. When the fire began, I ran home as quickly as I could. There is my house, completely undamaged, not even in danger. My girls are out in front in nothing but their night dresses. Their mother isn't there. Horses and dogs running about, people rushing about. Dear God, what will those girls have to live through in their lives? I took them and I brought them along, but with only one thought. What will they have to go through in this world? I got to this house, and here's their mother screaming and raging, and the whole street crimson in the firelight, and all that frightful noise. Made me think it was like something, years ago, the enemy overrunning us and looting us and setting everything on fire. And yet, what a difference there is between the past and the present. A little time will pass, 200 or 300 years, and people will look back at our lives today and think how terrifying and absurd. What a life that will be. What a glorious life. Oh dear, there I go again. But please, do let me go on, friends. I do so want to philosophize. I feel just in the right humor. They're all asleep. Well, as I was saying, there are only 3 people of your kind in this town now, but soon there will be more, and then more, and more. Just tonight I stood before the tavern.
Saw your face and heard you call my name.
Oh, my friend, we're older, but no wiser.
In our hearts our dreams are still the same.
Burned right out, burned right out. Not a stick left.
Nothing funny in that. You've lost everything.
Not a stick left. Not one thing in the world. The guitar burned to ashes. All my photographic apparatus, ashes. All my letters, and a little notebook I meant to give to you. Ashes too.
Go away. You can't come in.
Well, why do you let the Baron come in and not me?
You know, it's time we all left. How's the fire?
They say it's dying down. You know, it's a funny thing how you let the Baron come in and not me.
Let's go into the dining room.
Very well, I shall make a note of it. This moral could be made more clear, but it would annoy the geese, I fear.
make the whole room smell of tobacco. The Baron's fallen asleep. Baron. Baron.
I'm tired out. The brickworks, I'm not raving, but really and truly, I'm going to the brickworks directly. I'm going to start work. I've already made arrangements. You look so pale. You're so sweet and adorable. Do you know your paleness seems to brighten the darkness like moonlight? But you're sad, discontented with life. Come with me. Let's go to work together.
Please go away, Baron.
So you're here. I didn't see you. Good night. I'm off. Looking at you now, I remember how ages ago at your birthday you were so gay and lively. You talked about the joy of work and what a life I was dreaming about then. Where has it gone? Tears in your eyes. Go to bed. It's getting late. It's morning. If only I could give my life for you.
Please go away, Baron, for heaven's sake.
I'm going.
Are you awake, Fedor?
What?
You should go home.
My darling Masha. My dearest Masha.
She's tired. Let her rest, Fedor.
Of course. My own dear wife. I love you. My one and only.
Mo, masa, mata, mama, samata, sama.
She's wonderful, isn't she? We've been married 7 years, and it just feels like yesterday. Word of honor, no really. You're an amazing woman. I'm perfectly content.
I'm utterly bored. I can't get it out of my head. It's like a nail driven into my head, and I can't get it out. It's Andrey. He's mortgaged the house, and his wife took all the money, but the house isn't just his. It belongs to all of us. He would know that if he had any integrity.
Don't, Masha, dear. What's it to you? Andrey's up to his neck in debt, poor fellow.
Well, anyways, it's simply appalling.
We're well enough off. I teach at the high school, and I give private lessons as well. I'm a decent, ordinary kind of person. Omnia mea me cum forto, as the saying goes.
It's not the money I'm thinking of. It's the principle of the thing. Go home, Fedor.
You're tired. Stay here and rest for a bit. I'll go downstairs and wait for you. Sleep. I'm perfectly content.
Oh dear, what a small person our Andrey has become. That woman has turned him into a little crushed old man. Once he had his heart set on being a professor. But only yesterday he was patting himself on the back because he's been made a member of city council. At last, a member of city council, and Protopopov is the chairman. The whole town is talking and sniggering. He's the only one who doesn't see or know anything. And now here's everybody rushing to the fire, and he sits in his room and pays not the least bit of attention, just plays his violin. Oh, it's dreadful, dreadful, dreadful. I can't bear it. I can't bear it anymore, I really can't. Throw me out! Throw me out, I can't stand it anymore.
What is it? What's the matter?
Where has everything gone? I've forgotten everything. Everything's confused. I can't remember the Italian word for window or ceiling. I can't remember anything. I forget things every single day. Life is passing me by, never to come back, and we'll never go to Moscow. I know we won't.
Darling, darling.
What a failure I am. I can't work. I won't work. I've had enough. I worked at the telegraph office, and now I'm working in the town hall, and I loathe and despise everything they give me to do. I'm almost 24 years old. I've been working for ages. My brains are drying up. I've gotten thin, old, and stupid. And for what? Nothing. I don't get any satisfaction out of it. Time passes, and it seems that one's moving further and further away from any real, full life. Further and further toward an abyss. I can't think why I'm still alive, why I haven't killed myself.
Oh, don't cry, Irina, don't cry. It hurts me so.
I'm not crying. I won't cry. Enough, look. I'm not crying anymore. I've had my cry. My
darling, I tell you this as a sister and as a friend. Take my advice and marry the Baron. You respect him. You have a very high opinion of him. It's true he's not good looking, but he's such a good person. One doesn't marry for love. It's a matter of duty. At least that's what I think. I'd marry without love. I'd marry anyone as long as he was a good person. I'd marry an old man.
I thought I'd wait till we got to Moscow and there I'd find the real one. I dreamed of him. I loved him. But as it's turned out, that's just silly. Silly.
Oh, I do understand, my darling sister. When the Baron left the army and came here in his civilian clothes, he looked so ugly that I actually cried. And when he asked me, well, why are you crying? Well, what was I to say? But if it were God's will that you two should be married, well, I should be happy. But that's quite a different matter.
She thumps about as if she started the fire herself.
You're silly, Masha. You're the silliest one in the whole family. I'm sorry.
I think I must make my confession, my dear sisters. I'm so deeply troubled, I'll tell you this instant. It's my secret, but I must share it. Oh, I'm in love. In love with the man you saw just now. Oh, why beat around the bush? I'm in love with Vershinin.
That's enough. I don't want to hear anymore.
What can I do? At first I thought he was odd, and then I felt sorry for him, and then I fell in love. In love with his voice, his words, his troubles, his daughters.
I'm not listening. Whatever you're saying, I'm not listening.
Don't be ridiculous. I'm in love. It's my fate. It's my destiny, and he loves me. It's terrifying, isn't it? Wicked, isn't it? My dear, what are we to do? When you read about it in the novels, it all seems so stale and obvious, but when you fall in love yourself, then you realize that nobody knows anything, and everyone has to make up his own mind. My dear, I've told you everything, and now I won't say another word. Like Gogol's madmen. Silence. Silence.
What is it? I don't understand. Don't bother me.
I've told you 10 times, Master Andrey.
In the first place, it's Sir, not Master Andrey.
Please, sir, it's the firemen. They want to know if they can cut through the garden to get to the river. Otherwise, they'll have to lug the hose a long way around, and that would be a terrible lot of trouble.
All right. Tell them it's all right.
He says you can cut through the garden!
I'm sick of this whole business. Where's Olga? I've come for the key to the cupboard. I've lost mine. You know, the little one. Colossal fire. You say it's beginning to die down. That damned Farapot made me furious, and I said something idiotic to him. Sir, indeed. Nothing to say, Olga? Isn't it time to forget this silliness and stop pouting for no reason at all? Masha is here, and Irina too. Once and for all, let's get everything out into the open. What have you got against me? Well?
Not now, Andrey. We'll talk about it tomorrow. What a ghastly night.
Be upset, I'm asking you perfectly calm. What have you got against me? Tell me straight out.
Good night, Olga. God bless you.
Sleep well, my dear.
Good night, Andrey. Leave them alone. They're tired. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yes, really, Andrey. We'll talk about it in the morning. It's bedtime.
Just let me say this and then I'll go. First of all, you've all got something against Natasha, my wife. I've noticed it from the very day of my marriage. Natasha is a splendid, honest person, straight and decent. I love and respect my wife. Do you understand? Respect her. And I insist that other people respect her too. Natasha is a splendid, honest person. And let me tell you that all our misgivings were nothing but prejudice.
Second, there is something else I've got to say. You seem to have a grudge against me because I am not a professor, because I am not occupied in scholarly pursuits. All right, I'm a public servant. I'm a member of the city council, and let me tell you that I consider that as just and honorable and noble as being a scholar. I'm a member of the city council, and I am proud of it, if you want to know. Thirdly, there's something else I've got to say. I mortgaged the house without asking your permission. Very sorry. I know it was wrong. I had to do it because of my debts. 35,000. I've stopped playing cards. I haven't played in ages, but the best excuse I can make is you girls get father's pension. I have nothing, no income to speak of.
Masha isn't here? Where is she?
They aren't listening. Tasha is a splendid, honest person. I thought when I was married that we'd all be happy. All of us, but... Oh, God. My darling sisters. My dearest sisters don't believe a word I've said.
Where is Masha? Isn't Masha here? That's funny.
Oh yeah, who's that knocking?
The doctor is drunk.
What a night. Oh yeah, did you hear? The brigade is going to be taken away from us. Transferred to goodness knows where.
That's only a rumor.
Then we shall be all alone. Oh yeah?
Well,
Olga, I respect the Baron. I have a very high opinion of him. He's a really good fellow. I will marry him. I accept. Only let's go to Moscow, Olga. Let's, I implore you, in the whole world, there is no place like Moscow. Let's go. Do let's go.
You're a good fellow. What good times we've had together. Once more. Goodbye, my dear old fellow.
Goodbye.
I'm afraid this really is goodbye. We shall never see each other again.
Oh, don't say that. Look at me, blubbering.
We shall meet again.
In 10 or 15 years, we should hardly recognize one another. We shall be strangers. Hold it. One last snap over there in the light.
Don't forget to wind.
We shall never see each other again. Thank you for everything. Everything.
Oh, stop it!
Please, God willing, we shall meet again. Write to us. Be sure to write.
Goodbye, trees. Yoo-hoo! Goodbye, Echo.
So, all being well, you boys will get married in Poland. Your Polish wives will hug you and call you kochania.
Less than an hour left. Solion is the only officer in our battery to go on the barge. The rest of us are going on foot. 3 batteries leave today, 3 more tomorrow.
So that makes 6.
Peace and quiet will return to the town.
To say nothing of infinite boredom.
Where's Mrs. Kaligan?
Down in the garden.
I'd like to say goodbye to her.
Goodbye. You must go or else I'll start to cry. Oh, what wonderful happy times we've had here.
This is for you. A little remembrance. A notebook with a pencil. We shall go down this way to the river.
Goodbye. Thank you.
They've gone.
They forgot to say goodbye to me.
Why didn't they say goodbye to you?
Ah, why, yes, I forgot. I'll be seeing them soon. I'm leaving tomorrow. Yes, only 1 day more. In a year I shall be retired. I'll come back, my dear, and end my days with you. Yes, only 1 more year till I get my pension. I'll come back, and I shall be a reformed character. I will be so quiet, God-fearing, well-behaved, sober.
Quite right, my dear. The Reformation is quite in order.
Yes, I do think so myself. Ta-ra-ra-boom-dee-ay,
The
ta-ra-ra-boom.
doctor is incapable of reformation. Incapable.
You could whip me into shape.
Well,
Fedor shaved off his mustache. I can hardly bear to look at it.
what's wrong?
I would tell you what your physiognomy resembles, but I shouldn't.
So what? That's the custom nowadays, the modus vivendi. Our headmaster is clean-shaven, so the moment I became assistant head, I shaved off my mustache. Nobody likes it, but what do I care? I'm content. Mustache or no mustache, I'm content either way.
Doctor, my dearest dog, I'm so anxious. You were on the boulevard yesterday. Please, tell me what happened there.
What happened? Nothing happened. Nothing to speak of. That's all I'll say.
They say that Stolioni and the Baron met on the boulevard yesterday, near the theater.
Oh, stop it! For goodness sake.
Near the theater. Stolioni kept badgering the Baron, and the Baron lost his temper and insulted him.
I don't know anything about it. It's so ridiculous.
A teacher in a seminar said, ridiculous, and the pupil thought it was a Latin verb and wrote ridiculous, ridiculor, ridiculissimus. Did you ever hear anything so ridiculous? They say that Solioni is in love with Irina and detests the Baron. It's understandable. Irina's such a good girl. She's really like Masha. They're both the quiet kind, only Masha's gentle too. I love her, dear Masha.
I don't know why, but everything frightens me today. I'm all ready to go. After dinner, I shall send my luggage off. The Baron and I are getting married tomorrow. And tomorrow we are off to the brickworks. And the day after that, I shall start teaching in a school there. A new life will begin with God's help. expect everything will be all right. Do you know when I passed my teaching exam, I actually cried for joy and thankfulness. The horse and cart will be coming for the luggage soon.
Yes, of course, that's right. But none of this is really serious. It's all just a lot of talk. Nothing really serious. Still, I do wish you happiness from the very bottom of my heart.
My dearest darling, my little dove, you've gone far ahead and I can't catch up with you. I'm limping behind you like some old bird who can't keep up with the rest of the flock. But you fly on, my dear. You fly on, and God be with you. Ah, you ought never to have shaved off that mustache.
Oh, stop it. Today, that brigade will leave and everything will settle back into its old course. Whatever people say, Masha is good and honorable. I love her dearly, and I'm content with my fate. Fate is so different. A man called Prozorov works in the tax office. He was at school with me. He was dropped at the 5th grade because he could not do ut consecutivum. Now, he's miserable. His health has gone to pieces. When we meet, I say to him, how are you, ut consecutivum? And he says, right you are, that's me, ut consecutivum. And then he starts coughing and coughing. But I've been lucky all my life. I'm content. I even have the order of St. Stanislavski of the 2nd class. And here I am, teaching ut consecutivum. Of course, I'm intelligent, more intelligent than a lot of people, but of course that doesn't make a man happy.
After tonight, I shan't ever have to listen to that maiden's prayer. I shan't ever have to meet Protopopov again, who's sitting in our drawing room this very minute, as usual.
Is the headmistress here yet?
No, not yet. If only you knew how hard it is for me to live here without Olga. She lives in the high school. She's the headmistress, busy all day long. So I'm alone, I'm bored, I have nothing to do, and the room I live in is horrible. So I've made up my mind. If I'm not going to be in Moscow, so be it. It's fate. And there's nothing that can be done. Everything is as God wills, that's true. The Baron asked me to marry him. Oh well, I thought it over and accepted him. He's a good man, you can hardly believe how good. Suddenly I felt as if my soul was on wings. I've become more cheerful, more at ease, and once again I am eager to work. Yesterday something happened. There was some kind of mystery hanging over me.
Ridiculissimus.
The headmistress!
The headmistress has come. Let's go.
Tarara-boom-dee-ay, tarara-boom-dee-ay, tarara-boom-dee.
Sitting, just sitting.
What about it?
Nothing. Were you in love with my mother?
Very much so.
And was she in love with you?
You know, I can't quite remember.
Is mine here? Our cook Marfa used to refer to her policeman as mine. Is mine here?
Not yet.
When happiness is offered in little pieces and for moments at a time, then snatched away by degrees, one becomes hard and bitter. Everything's boiling inside. Take my brother Andrey, for example. All our hopes for him are dashed. Thousands of people raise the bell with immense labor and expense, and suddenly the bell crashes down and breaks to pieces, and that's how it was with Andrey.
We ever have peace and quiet in this house? Such a racket.
Soon. This is a good old watch. It strikes the half hours. First, second, and fifth batteries will leave at 1 o'clock precisely. And I tomorrow.
For good.
Who knows? Maybe I'll come back in a year. Devil knows. Anyway, it's all the same.
Town will be empty. Sort of under a blanket. Something happened yesterday near the theater. Everybody's talking about it, but I don't know what it was.
It was nothing. Nothing important. Solioni kept badgering the Baron. The Baron lost his temper and insulted him. And, well, things got ugly, and Solioni had to challenge him. I believe it's time now. 12:30. Over there in the clearing in the forest, beyond the river. Piff, half. Solioni thinks his Lermontov. He even writes poetry. Seriously, it's his third duel.
Whose?
Solioni.
And the Baron?
What about him?
What a mess it all is. I say they shouldn't be allowed to fight. He may wound the Baron, even kill him.
The Baron's a good fellow, but one Baron more or less, what difference does it make? Let them fight. It's all the same. Just wait. That's Gortsov calling. The Baron second. He's waiting in a row.
In my opinion, dueling is utterly immoral. It's immoral even to be present at a duel, even as a doctor.
It only seems to be so. We don't exist. Nothing on this earth exists. There is no reality. Things only seem to be real. So there you go.
Nothing but talk, talk, talk all day long.
It's all the same.
The sky is falling and all you do is talk. I can't go into the house. I won't go in. Let me know when Vershinin comes. The birds already flying south. Wild geese or swans. So free. Lucky things.
The house will be empty. The officers are leaving. You are leaving. Your sister's getting married. I shall be left alone in the house.
What about your wife?
Wife's a wife. She's a decent, honorable woman. A nice woman, but in spite of that, there is something in her which makes her a blind, scruffy little animal. Certainly she's not a human being. I'm telling you this as a friend, someone to whom I can speak quite freely. I love Natasha. I really do, but sometimes she seems so unspeakably common that I'm at a complete loss to understand how I can love her so. Or anyway, how I used to love her.
My dear friend, I am leaving tomorrow and very likely we shall never meet again. So here's some advice. Put on your hat, take your stick in your hand, and go. Keep right on, without looking back. The farther, the better.
It's time, Doctor. It's already 5:30.
Coming. Sick of you. If anyone asks for me, just say I'll be right back. Oh, oh, oh.
Before he was fully aware, he was crushed in the arms of a bear. What's the matter with you? There's no cause for you to get upset. I won't let things go too far. I'll just wing him like a woodcock. I've used a whole bottle today, and still they smell. The smell of a corpse. Yes. Restless he waits the breaking of a storm, as if the storm should bring him peace.
Yes, before he was fully aware, he was crushed in the arms of a bear.
The papers must be signed.
Leave me alone.
But that's what the papers are for. To be signed.
Leave me alone, please.
Masha! Masha! I think he's the only person in town who will be glad the brigade is leaving.
One can understand why. Our town will be empty now.
Darling, I'll be back quite soon.
Where are you going?
What? I have to go to town, and then I promised to see the fellows off.
That's a lie. Why are you so preoccupied? What happened yesterday near the theater?
I'll be back in an hour and be with you again. My love. I've been in love with you for 5 years, and it still amazes me. You seem lovelier and lovelier. How beautiful your hair is, and what eyes. Tomorrow I am taking you away. We'll work, we'll do well, and my dreams will come true. You will be happy. There's just one thing. One thing. You don't love me.
That is not in my power. I will be your wife, your faithful and obedient wife, but love is not there. What can I do? I've never been in love in my life. I've dreamed of it, yes. Dreamed for years, day and night. Do you know what my heart is like? It's like a piano, a fine and noble tone, but the case is locked and the key can't be found. You look restless.
I didn't sleep all night. There's nothing in my life to make me afraid. Just that lost key haunts me and keeps me awake at night. Say something. Say something.
What? What shall I say?
Anything.
I can't.
What little things. What little tiny trifles become significant for no reason at all. You laugh at them as you did before. You know quite well what little things they are. But you go on and you feel that you have no power to stop. Let's not talk about it. I feel wonderfully happy. I feel as though I'm seeing these birches for the first time in my life. And everything looks at me, questioning, waiting. How beautiful the trees are. And when you come right down to it, how beautiful life should be when there are such trees. I must go. It's time. That tree is dead. But there it is, still waving in the wind with the others. I can't help thinking that if I die, I shall still be a part of life in some way or another. Goodbye, my love. The papers you gave me are on your desk under the calendar.
I'm going with you.
No. No.
Yes.
I didn't have any coffee this morning. Ask them to have some ready.
But these papers aren't mine. They're from the council. I didn't make them up.
What has become of my past? When I was young and lively and clever. When I was full of dreams, when my imagination soared, when my life and my future were glowing with hope. What happened to it? Why, when we've only just begun to live, do we become old and boring and lazy and useless and unhappy? My town has been in existence for 200 years. It has 100,000 inhabitants, and not one of them has ever amounted to a single thing. They just eat, drink, sleep, and then they die. Others will be born, and they too will eat, drink, sleep. And drugged by boredom, they fill their lives with vicious gossip and vodka and cards and lawsuits, and wives are unfaithful to husbands, and husbands pretend not to know, and this suffocates the children until the divine spark in them is extinguished, and they too become pitiful husks. Exactly like one another. Just as aimless and dead as their parents.
What do you want? Want? The papers must be signed.
I'm sick of you.
Oh. The doorman at our office was saying that in Petersburg in winter, they had 200 degrees of frost.
Present is detestable. The future. Oh, how good it feels. How one's heart rises and expands, and far off in a faint shimmer of light, I see hope. I see how I and my children can be free from sloth, from drink, from goose and cabbage, from snoozes after dinner, from being nothing more than squalid parasites.
He said 2,000 people died of cold. Oh, people were scared. Maybe it was Petersburg. Maybe Moscow? Ah, I can't remember.
Darling sisters. My wonderful sisters. Masha, my sister.
Who's talking so loudly out there? You, Andrey?
You awake, baby. Il ne faut pas perdre le bébé pour me de joie vous attendre.
If you must talk, hand over the
Very good, ma'am.
Speaking quite quietly.
Bobby? Bad Bobby! Bloody Bobby!
All right. I'll look over these papers and sign where necessary. You can take them back to the office.
Bobby, what's Mama's name? Mama's lovely boy. And who's this? This is Aunt Olga. Say to Auntie, how are you, Olga?
Our garden might as well be the public highway, such comings and goings.
Good day, my Irina. My dear girl, I'm having such a time you can't imagine. Such a time. I have my own little room at the high school. Dearest Olga and I are together. God has granted me that in my old age. I've never been so well off, wicked old sinner that I am. Lovely rooms at the high school, and I have a bedroom all to myself with a bed. All at government expense. I wake up at night and, oh, mother of God, I say to myself, there's a happier woman in the world.
It's time now, Miss Olga. We're leaving. Where's Masha?
Somewhere in the garden. I'll go and look for her.
Thank you.
I'll go and look for her, too. Masha, dear. Yoo-hoo. Yoo-hoo.
Everything comes to an end. This is the parting of the ways. The town gave us a luncheon of sorts. The mayor talked, I ate, listened, but all the time I was here with you. This has all become a part of me now.
Shall we ever see each other again?
Probably not. My wife, my 2 girls will stay here for a month or 2. Please, if something happens, if they need anything.
Yes, yes, of course. Don't worry about that. By tomorrow, there won't be a soldier left in town. It'll all just be a memory. Of course, for us, a new life will begin. Nothing turns out the way you hope. I didn't want to be headmistress, yet here I am, so I can't be in Moscow.
Well, thank you for everything. Forgive me for anything I did wrong. I did talk far too much. Please forgive me for that, too. And don't think too badly of me.
Why doesn't Masha come?
What more can I say without saying goodbye? What shall I philosophize about? Life is difficult. It's dim and grim, but doesn't it get clearer and more light? And eventually the day will come where it is perfectly light. In the past, mankind was given up entirely to marching, invasions, wars, but all that has ended and left behind it a tremendous void. Mankind searches passionately for the filling of that void, and of course he will find it. You know, if you could combine the urge to work with the thirst for knowledge, and the thirst for knowledge with the urge to work, I really must go.
Here she comes.
I just came to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
That's enough.
Write to me. Don't forget. Olga, dear, take her. It's time. I really must go. I'm late already.
Now, Masha, dear, stop crying, my darling.
It's nothing. Let her cry. Let her. You are my own dear Masha, my good dear Masha. You are my wife, and I'm content in spite of it all. I have no complaints. I'm not reproaching you in the least bit, and Olga and Irina here know that's true. We'll start our old life all over again. I won't say a single word to you, not the least hint.
The curved shore, the green oak. Why do I keep saying that? The curved shore.
Control yourself, Masha. Pull yourself together.
I'm not crying anymore.
She's not crying. She's a good, good girl.
Empty life. I don't need anything now. I shall be myself again in a moment. What is a curved shore, anyways? Why do I say that?
Control yourself, Masha. Let's go inside.
I won't go in there. I don't want to go into the house, please. I won't go into the house.
Let's sit together and say nothing. I'm going away tomorrow.
Yesterday, I confiscated this beard and mustache from a boy in grade 12. Rather like the German teacher, eh? Isn't it so? Aren't boys absolutely killing?
You really do look like that German teacher.
You know he does.
You really do look like him.
Mr. Protopapa will look after baby Sophia, and my husband can take Bobik out. What a lot of trouble children do make. Irina, you are going away from us tomorrow. What a shame. I shall miss you terribly.
Oh!
You fool! Yes, I've become quite fond of you. I really will miss you terribly. I'll arrange for Andrey to move into your room with his violin. He can fiddle away in there. And I'll move baby Sophia into his room. A simply, perfectly extraordinary child. What a little girl. This morning she looked at me and said, Mama. Mama, she said.
Yes, she is a lovely child.
So tomorrow I shall have the place all to myself. Well, first I shall have that entire row of firs cut down. Then that maple. It looks so ugly in the evening. Darling, that sash doesn't suit you at all. It's not in very good taste. You should wear lighter colors. And all around here I'll plant flowers, flowers. Yes, such a heavenly odor. What is this mess still doing here, I should like to know? It should have been cleaned up hours ago. Don't answer back! Get back here!
Here we go again.
They're leaving. Our friends are going. Oh well, God bless them. We should go. Where are my things?
Oh, I left them inside. I'll go and fetch them.
Yes, now we can all go home. It's time.
Olga.
What is it?
Nothing. I don't know how to tell you.
No.
Yes, I'm afraid that's how it is.
What's happened?
Oh, what a terrible day.
What?
I don't know how to break it to you, my darling.
Tell me what has happened. For God's sake, what has happened?
The Baron's just been killed in a duel.
I knew it. I knew it.
I'm tired. Let them cry.
Listen, our friends are going away. One is gone forever. We're left alone to pick up our lives again. We must go on living. We must go on.
Time will come when everybody will know the reason for all of this agony. It won't be a mystery anymore. Meantime, we have to go on living. There's work to be done. Work. Tomorrow I will go away. I shall teach in the school at the brickworks. I will devote my whole life where it is needed. It is autumn now. Soon it will be winter. The world will be buried under snow, and I will work. And work.
Listen to the drums. So gay, so full of life. Come, time will pass and we shall soon be forgotten. Our faces, our voices, even the very fact that there were 3 of us. But out of our pain will spring joy for those that come after us. Peace and happiness will reign upon this earth, and those that live after us will remember us kindly, and they will bless us. Oh, my dear sisters, life is not yet over for us. We shall go on living. Listen to the drums, so gay, so full of joy. I think in a little while we shall figure out why we are alive and why we are suffering. If we only knew. If we only knew.
It's all the same.
If we only knew. If we only